and welcome to Rooted in Yad, where I talk about what it's really like living in Jamaica so that you can know what to expect and how to thrive if you are planning to make the move here. And today I want to talk about why I moved from Canada to Jamaica, because there are a lot of people who have been interested in why I would move from a developed nation, or what's considered a first world nation, to a developing country, or what some consider a third world country, which, for the record, by the way, I actually don't think Jamaica is like a third world country, but I'm just saying this is what people say, right? This is what people say, this is what people think. So I'm going to give you a bit of context, a bit of history, and then I'm going to kind of go into it. But if you just want like the rundown list, I'm going to put a timestamp in the description so you can just click there and go to that. But as I said, to give you some context, so firstly, this isn't the first time that I've moved to Jamaica. The first time I moved to Jamaica was actually years ago in 2015. And I moved here for a man. Okay, I did. Yeah, like some people are like, oh, when you moved to Jamaica, you moved there. Did you move there for love? Did you move there for a man? Yes, I moved here for a man. Okay. But we were getting married. Like, I came here on vacation. We've somehow miraculously found each other. I somehow happened to be visiting the resort he was working at. Typical, I guess. But it worked out, right? So yeah, I had to move here to be with him because, well, a couple of reasons. One, because just being physically apart like that, it was so, like, long distance relationships kind of suck. Like, you can try and make them better. I created a whole video on that, but like it just hurts to be apart from the person you love, right? So because we were apart and we didn't want to be apart and wait any longer, due to my passport privileges, it was easier for me to move here to be with him than to like have to go and apply for the whole process, and then, you know, have to have him come to Canada. Like, that's just a whole process. It was just easier for me to come here and live with him. But also, he did not have any desire to go to Canada, so I had to come here to live with him anyway if we wanted to be together. So I had lived here actually for about 2 years. And then, as you know from the first video that I did on this channel, I did zero research before coming here. You know what it was? I thought, just because I'm giving context in the beginning of this before I get into my points, right? But like, I had thought, and I think this is a common misconception from a lot of people, I had thought because I had visited Jamaica prior, and like, it's not like, you know, I met my husband and then just came back one time and thought I knew Jamaica. Like, no, the whole of my background is Jamaican, right? So I grew up with some aspects of Jamaican culture in Canada. I grew up around a bunch of Jamaicans, right? So I that's why I said I grew up with some aspect of Jamaican culture in Canada. And then I came here, and I was coming here like every 3 months, because the job I was working at the time, they paid pretty decently. So I was coming back every 3 months to visit my husband, then boyfriend or fiance at the time. And that's why I'm like, you know, I thought I had known Jamaica. Like, I was like, oh, I've been here, and et cetera, et cetera. I thought I knew what I was getting into. But I did not. And also, as you know from my first video, I came here with $0. Why would I do? Yeah, I was young, okay? I was in my early 20s. I was young. I wasn't really thinking about things. I was just trying to get married, okay? I was just trying to, like, I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna, like, get married to the love of my life, and then we're gonna figure everything else out. And we did, right? Most things are figure outable. So we figured everything else out. I figured things out, or Jamaica figured me out. I don't know. The whole point is, I moved here with zero research, like proper research, $0. And I had a very interesting time. And just as a side note for those of you, like, because there are some expats who, like, yeah, they go and they visit the country, but visiting is not enough. I do want to say that, because as I said, I was here like every 3 months. Now granted, I was here like every 3 months for like only like a week or two at a time, 2 weeks maximum. So it wasn't really like, you know, I came here, I spent a month. Maybe if you're doing something like that, maybe you can really get to know how things are in either Jamaica or whatever place that you are wanting to move to. But I feel like visiting is not enough. Like, I don't do what I did. Like, I came here with zero research and zero money. You don't have to do that though. I would say join Facebook groups, okay? Join Facebook groups with other expats. Start connecting with people, start asking questions, start searching for questions. Hell, even go search on Reddit. Go to the Jamaica subreddit. Now there's a Jamaica tourism subreddit. If you're just coming to like visit and go on excursions and stuff, go to the Jamaica tourism subreddit, because that'll be more helpful. The Jamaica subreddit is more for locals, for people here who live on the island, and it's more like, yeah, it's more for those people, or people who were born here and then maybe moved abroad, but like they're still very connected with the culture. So it's the Jamaica subreddit you're going to want to visit, and then you can kind of like ask questions or like search through. So either on Facebook or on Reddit, just kind of search through and get answers, or as I said, you can ask questions. But don't be like me and just like move here. But anyway, the whole point of what I was saying, the little tangent I went on just now, was that just visiting a place, you may think that also visiting a place is enough. I'm of the opinion that it is also not enough. You still have to like ask questions and stuff. Which, to that point, because I moved here and I had to learn a lot on my own, I have created a Moving to Jamaica starter guide. It's available. The early access is available for $10. Parts 1 and 2 are done. There's a table of contents on the site so you can see what you're getting right now and what you will be getting as I complete the rest of the parts. But yeah, that contains the wealth of information that I had to learn firsthand. Okay, but going back to what I was saying. So when I had moved here, you know, I had, as I said, learned things firsthand. So I was dealing with a lot of the frustrations of island life, you know, like the slowness, the outages, the culture shock. Even though my background is Jamaican, I still experienced culture shock because the Jamaican culture that's in Canada, even the Jamaican culture that may be wherever you are, is likely not going to be the Jamaican culture that's here. So you are still going to end up going through some culture shock. So I went through some culture shock. And then after 2 years, I was like, I'm done. So I was able to finally convince my husband to let me apply for him to go to Canada. And he said yes. And then I'm like, all right, cool, because I'm done. And like, when we were boarding that plane, honestly, I had like zero desire to come back. Maybe to visit, which we did visit one time. We were able to save up enough to visit one, not just save up enough, but also have, because we were working and everything. So we were able to visit one time. But like I had no desire to come back here and live, certainly not anytime soon. But then, you know, as Jamaicans say, long run, short catch. Because I moved right back here in 2023. So like we were only in Canada from 2017 to 2023. Long enough for my husband to get a citizenship, and then I don't know, we just started to rethink things, right? And yeah, I went from not wanting to ever live here ever again to living here now, and I'm like, I don't ever want to leave. Complete 180, right? So what happened? In short, what happened was life. Life happened. My priorities changed, I guess. So just to give, I guess I'll give more context. What happened when I went back to Canada is that I eventually got burned out. You know, I got burned out from my job because like I was doing the equivalent. I was working from home, by the way. See, when I talk about working from home, I created a video recently about that. I've been working from home for like, I don't know, since I was in Jamaica and went back to Canada, I've been working from home. So I was working from home, but I still got burned out because I was doing the equivalent of like 2 to 3 what should have been full-time jobs. And these are not like, oh, because I chose this, like, oh, it's freelance here and freelance there. No, I was doing this. I was working for one company. They did layoffs, and then I had to take on a bunch of more responsibilities, much more than I already had. So, you know, like I was burnt out from my job. I felt burnt out from life. There's like that fast-paced culture in Canada, you know, burnt out from feeling like I was a wage slave and feeling as though like I have to work in order to live. I have to make money in order to live. Like it didn't feel like, when I was in Canada, it didn't feel like I had a choice. And especially in Canada, I feel like that's true because if you don't work and you don't make enough money, you're quite literally SOL. Like, you know, you can't just easily survive outside. Like because of the winter, I mean, like it's hard. the way Canada is, it's set up, it's not easy to live just off the land, just based on the weather alone, right? So homelessness or being unhoused, especially in Canada, and as I said, in the winter, it's not easy, right? So you have to work, you have to do what you can. And let me even tell you something, okay? My husband and I, we even bought a home in Canada, okay? We bought a home, we paid it off, we have no mortgage on it, paid it off outright. And even without a mortgage, our bills, as in like just the combined total of everything we needed to pay for every month, were still 2,500 Canadian dollars a month, right? And that was just the minimum to be alive. And that was in a province that wasn't even as expensive as Ontario. Like it was in one of the cheaper provinces, and still our bills were that much just to be alive. And it's not like we went out. I'm an introvert, he's an introvert. We don't like to go out, and like half of the time it's cold outside. I don't want to be outside. So and then, as I said, I worked from home, right? So like unless we had to go outside, we didn't go outside. So we didn't really do anything, and still we're spending 2,500 Canadian dollars a month just to be alive. Like, and the thing is, okay, you can say, oh, you spent that much, oh, what were you doing at home? We didn't even buy Netflix. Like, when I tell you, it was the bare minimum, like bills, groceries, car insurance, just the bare minimum, and it still cost that much to be alive. And I thought, like maybe we could work part-time and we could still pay what we need to pay, but like, what part-time job is going to pay that much per month? Right? And when I mean part-time, remember, I was burnt out, right? Like I felt like I was burnt to a crisp, quite honestly. So like I felt like I couldn't even really handle more than like 10 hours or so a week without losing my mind. And I didn't just want to put all that pressure on my husband, but either way, I didn't feel that we could live easily in Canada. Like I felt like living in Canada, I just felt like we need to work and continue working very hard for the rest of our lives. And I didn't think like, because, maybe you might say, oh, you work, but then you can retire. I didn't think we'd be able to retire either, right? Like it is, at this point, it is damn near impossible, pretty much, I feel, to work one consistent job. If you can work one consistent job and then retire from it, right? And that's even if these companies are offering decent retirement benefits, because like this isn't the 80s and 90s. Like a lot of the jobs, they don't do that anymore, right? A lot of these jobs, they don't care about people. They want to offer as little as possible. They're continuing to try and cut back on the benefits and on what they offer people. They're trying to cut back on how much they pay. Like sometimes it's even a struggle to just even find a job that offers a living wage. Like even certainly the minimum wage, you're gonna struggle on that. You're gonna have to work multiple jobs on that to live. But like, you know what I mean? It's a struggle just to even find a job that pays you a living wage. And I remember even applying to jobs before I got laid off, because I did get laid off. I don't think I mentioned that. I did get laid off. And I don't know if it's that I had too much experience, because if you have more experience than what the job requires, they're not going to want to hire you. But then if you don't have enough experience, they're not going to want to hire you. So I think I was also just like burnt out from the job application process as well. And you know what? Instead of getting down on myself, I said, rejection is redirection. So once I got laid off, I'm like, you know what? This is an opportunity. This is, rather than me trying to continue doing the same thing, this is an opportunity for me to create the life that I want. And I guess the life that I wanted was here in Jamaica. Now, all of that said, why Jamaica? Why exactly did I choose Jamaica? Well, for a bunch of reasons. When Hubby Bear and I moved back, we moved back intentionally. So I'm gonna list why we had moved back, or me. So the first one was soft landing. So by the way, just a heads up, Jamaica is not the only place that we considered. We were considering other places. I was thinking about other places like Costa Rica or Panama or wherever. And then I was like, wait, why not Jamaica? We lived there before. I'm going to just get into the reasons. So one of the reasons is that it's a soft landing for us. Okay, and it might be a soft landing for you as well. So the national language of Jamaica is English. So me coming back here, like I wouldn't have that mental load, that mental stress of having to learn another language, especially, as I said, I was already burnt out. I was burnt to a crisp. I just couldn't. I couldn't do anything else. So, I mean, outside of Patois, right? But like I already knew Patois, I already understood Patois, so it's not like that's something I really had to learn. So like I don't have to learn a new language moving here. I lived here previously, as I explained, so I already knew like what to expect. I could prepare better for it this time. At minimum, I guess I was mentally prepared. And then, you know, when we came back, I told you we came back intentionally. So we came back with some savings this time. Are the savings still as much as they were when we moved back? But we came back with some savings. Another reason it was a soft landing, we had a place to live as soon as we came back because we moved literally right back into the same rental that we had moved into when we got married, because my sister-in-law was living here and held on to this place the entire time. And then, like, regardless of being married to my husband, it's a soft landing for me because I know I can always stay here indefinitely, right? So I didn't need to think about residency. My father's from Jamaica, because I told you the whole of my background is Jamaican. My father's from Jamaica, so I could have always have gotten my citizenship, which I did not know until I applied for the marital residency. So by the way, if your parent or grandparent is Jamaican, you can get citizenship via descent. And it's a very easy process. I'll talk about that in other videos. But as I said, I could live here indefinitely, so soft landing. But I'm gonna end it here for now. So I hope that you found this video helpful or informative or at least entertaining. If you did, do hit that like button to let me know. But I also want to hear from you, okay? I'd like to know from you. Does this make you want to move here or not move here? Do you still want to move here? Share it in the comments and let me know. I'd be very interested. And if you are planning to move here or even to visit, as a heads up, I did create some freebies to give you a head start on like what to bring, what to expect, and I even created a whole calendar. There's a calendar for like what's left of 2025 and a whole calendar for 2026 so that you can kind of figure out like when's the best time for you to come to Jamaica. So the link for that will be in the comments and in the description. And if you want even more support outside of my free resources, I've created a few other resources to help your transition go even smoother. So one is the Moving to Jamaica Starter Guide. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned earlier in this video, there's still early access for just $10. So for that price, you're getting access to part 1 and parts 1 and 2 because those are complete, but you will also get access to the full thing once it is complete. So grab it early if you're interested because the price is going to raise when it's done. The next thing I have for you is a clarity workbook. So this is actually a great workbook to get started on before you get the starter guide. Really, it's for like if you're questioning whether Jamaica is really right for you, this can actually help you move forward with more clarity and confidence. It's actually based on my process of like what I do to gain clarity about the things I want in my life, which is kind of, I guess, what led me to Jamaica. So if you're interested in that, it's affordable. It's only $5. And then the Grounded and Growing Journal is the third thing that I have for you. So this is a guided space to help you focus, stay grounded, and move forward with intention in your day-to-day. It's also based on the way that I currently journal, and it has been helpful in helping me like work through like, I don't know, some feelings of frustration and stuff that I get here sometimes, and it helps me keep focus and keep intentional with my goals and such. So if you're interested in that, you can get that. It's only $7. So all of that will be linked in the comments and in the description if you're interested. In the meantime, I appreciate you being here. If you like this video, do subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next, and I'll see you in the next one.